All over the country, substance abuse is at its all-time worst, destroying lives, families, and entire communities. Luckily, there is a light at the end of that tunnel thanks to caring professionals and treatment centers like Recovery in Motion. Here to tell us more is Operations Manager Nick Jones, along with Case Manager Tessa Gablilondo. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. Nick, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about Recovery in Motion.
Well, we are a residential treatment center here in Tucson. And we take people from Tucson and actually all over the country. We provide a full-service residential treatment, process groups, therapy. We do a lot of 12-step promotion because we want people to go to 12-step meetings when they leave us, so they have a maintenance program to stay clean after they leave us. And we do a really good job. And last year, we took in 136 clients, 72% success rate, which is very good.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of treatment centers here in Tucson.
That is a stellar success rate, and like you were saying, you build that framework to take people, from a place that's very dark to a place where they can recover. And so let's talk about some of the stunning numbers of the opioid epidemic. How many people does it really affect?
Well, 2 people a day die in Arizona from opiate overdose. Since 2010, from 2010 to 2015, 500,000 Americans have died from accidental overdose. Not suicide. Now we're talking about accidental overdose. And in Arizona here, one dies every day in Pima County. That's what the statistics say. And it's affecting the whole country as a whole. It's breaking up families. People are losing their jobs, their livelihood. Addiction is a terrible thing.
It is. I mean, those are shocking numbers, like we were saying. Luckily, we have professionals like yourself and like Tessa helping these people every single day. And Tessa, as a case manager, tell me, what's the importance of a family when it comes to, first, addiction? We'll talk about treatment later, but what do they do to sort of not help somebody who's addicted?
To not help somebody. So, as your addiction grows, your family addicts condition their family, and we turn our family into enablers and codependent, and they get as sick as we do in our addiction. I'm in recovery, so I say we, but if we go to treatment, an addict goes to treatment, and the family doesn't get help, it's very uncomfortable and it makes it difficult on the addict. So in our program, we encourage the family to seek their own help and work their own program through Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, or seek professional help. And sometimes, they're sick enough to even be a good candidate for treatment themselves for codependency. So how important is a family when it comes to treatment and sort of surrounding the person that's addicted and really helping them get through it? How important is it to have that? It's huge. I am blessed to have a family who is supportive, and we hurt our families the most when we're using, and it takes a while to build back that trust. The program that we have, when the families come in, there's so much healing, and they have an opportunity to start fresh, and just having their support is such a big deal. We see the people whose families are very involved, and the outcome is so much better. It means a lot to the addict. Yeah, and so if a family is worried about somebody, if a family's concerned about somebody that may be addicted or they don't know if they are, what are the signs that they should be looking out for, the red flags? This person is addicted, they need help. Well, there's all kinds of signs. They could be sleeping more, not sleeping at all, staying up all night, not doing the things that they love, losing interest in all the things that they love a lot.
Disappearing.
Negative attitude, all of a sudden, yelling at your parents or your grandparents, and irate behavior, dropping out of school, quitting jobs. All of a sudden you're losing things that are valuable around the house, things like that. Well, it is a big problem, but luckily Recovery in Motion is there to help. If somebody calls Recovery in Motion, Nick, what can they expect on the other line? Well, they would talk to our admissions specialist, who will find out a lot about the client, what their needs are, their willingness to come to treatment. Some come willing, some come unwilling. Even the ones that come unwilling are glad they came once they get here. For example, if somebody doesn't fit the criteria of our program,
our admissions people will refer them to the right place. So there's a whole team of us that work in this recovery business that we kind of support each other. We want to get people to get the right services for them.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. If you guys can't help them, then you will give a referral to somebody that can help them. More often than not, you can do something for them, but if you can't, it's great that you give them that alternative.
Sometimes just giving them information. It's amazing the amount that families do not know anything about addiction, do not know anything about where to call, who to go to, and we offer that. So we're based like that. We think that way.
Well, it is a beautiful thing. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Before I let you go, though, Tessa, you had a very special shout out you wanted to make to somebody today.
Sure. I wanted to say happy birthday to my grandma, Tessa Gablilondo. Happy birthday, Nana. 83 years old. I love you.
83 years young. Happy birthday to her. And again, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alice.
Awesome.
Now, if you would like to learn more about addiction and how to help a family member who is addicted, call Recovery in Motion for information and possible participation in a family group session. Just call them at 866-418-1070 or visit recoveryinmotion.com.